Hello, I am Martin, and I've done some readings before for YouTube of some Buddhist Dhamma, just with the photos and audios previously. So I maybe try some video recording, see how that goes. Okay, so I'm in the London Buddha-Patipa Buddhist temple as a layman. I have previously been a monk for a couple of years, 18 months, and some training before that, which was very beneficial. Anyway, I've got some other stuff out there. So, I have been wanting to read this for a while. It's quite a big one, so it's like a bit of a build up in a project. So previously, I read this one, Buddha-Dhamma, P.A. Payutto, quite a famous scholar in Thailand, and you can sort of see here that it's well used, so some coffee stains and whatever else. And I'll need to get that fixed and return it to the rightful owner, who is a senior monk in the Thai tradition. So, yeah, I'll get started and see how this goes. If there's any feedback, hopefully positive, please do. If negative, please be kind. Right, the Manuals of Buddhism, the Expositions of the Buddha-Dhamma by Mahatera Ledi Sayadaw Ga Maha Pandita Dilit. Right, let's get started. The Manuals of Buddhism, which includes the Vipassana Dipani, Patanudesa Dipani, Samadhiti Dipani, Niyama Dipani, Katusacca Dipani, Bodhipakya Dipani, Magga Dipani, Alinkaya, Uttamapurisa Dipani, Anapana Dipani. Not exactly sure what Dipani means, but I'm sure it means some sort of collection or book series, something. Okay, the Manuals of Buddhism, about the cover, which is a quite impressive illustration. At the middle shows the group of 5, Panchawagya, hearing the first sermon, the Dhammacakka, which is delivered by Lord Buddha. Around this are seen other sections descriptive of the Four Noble Truths which are contained in that sermon. As those sections go, the apparent character of dukkha satcha, truth that the 5 aggregates of existence are suffering, is represented by the sign of the old and the infirm. That of samudaya satcha, ignorance and craving, Truth of the cause of dukkha is represented by the sign of bees fluttering hungrily to get at the nectar of flowers. That of Magga Satcha, truth of the noble path of 8 constituents, is the only way to end suffering, is represented by the sign of the religious meditator practicing with the 5 powers, and that of Nirodha Satcha, truth of the cessation of suffering, is represented by the sign of one who, through Manodvara Vajana Chitta, concentrates on Nibbana with consciousness on the path and fruition. This is an imaginative innovation of the editorial committee of Mother Yeyarwadi Publishing House. So sometimes I do wonder if anyone would have an issue with me reading some of these Dhamma books, but they are for free distribution. So I don't see why not. That's Dhamma for the sharing. So hopefully it benefits myself and others if anyone's listening. Okay. The Manuals of Buddhism. The Expositions of the Buddha-Dhamma by Mahatera Ledi Sayadaw Aga Mahapandita D. Lit. Edited and published by Mother Ayeyarwadi Publishing House, Yangon, Myanmar, 2004. Let's see what we got. So apparently we've got 2,000 copies of this, I believe. And the price is free. Dhamma gift. Okay. Right, there is the monk who did a lot of work, and it is quite something. Okay, I'll read his name again. The Most Venerable Mahatera Ledi Sayadaw Aga Mahapandita D. Lit, born 1846 and passed away 1923. The most eminent and highly respected teacher of Tipitaka, most gifted and summit scholar, the bravest and boldest author, the great pioneer of meditation master, the most excellent preacher of the Dhamma, the most admired and the brightest eye of the West. Okay. Okay, so right, I'll carry on. We've either got all of the Dipanis in this one book, or this is just the Vipassana Dipani Manual of Insight. I think we've got them all. So I'll read the English. Yep. So, Manual of Insight, the Buddhist Philosophy of Relations, the Manual of Right Views, the Manual of Cosmic Order, The Manual of the Four Noble Truths, the Manual of the Factors Leading to Enlightenment, the Manual of the Constituents of the Noble Path, an exposition of 5 kinds of light, the Manual on the Greatest of Mankind, the Manual of Mindfulness of Breathing. Okay, let's get started. The Venerable Mahateri Sayadaw Aga Mahapandita Dilit. Known to scholars of many countries, the Venerable Ledi Sayadaw Aga Mahapandita Dilit was perhaps the outstanding Buddhist figure of this age. With the increase in interest in Western lands, there is a great demand for his Buddhist discourses and writings, which are now being translated and reproduced in the light of the Dhamma. Bhikkhu Jnana, who was later known as Ledi Sayadaw, was born on Tuesday the 13th waxing of Natal 1208, Myanmar era, 1846 CE, at Sheng Pien village, Dipieng Township, Shwebo district. His parents were Yu Tun Da and Dao Kyon. Early in life he was ordained a Samanera and at the age of 20 a bhikkhu, under the patronage of Salim Sayadaw U Panditya. He received his monastic education under various teachers and later was trained in Buddhist literature by the Venerable San Kuang Sayadaw, Sudasana Daja Atu Ladipati, Siri Pavara Buddha-Dhamma, Raja di Raja Guru of Mandalaya. He was a bright student. It was said of him about 2,000 students attended the lectures delivered daily by the Venerable Sakyuan Sayadaw. One day the Venerable Sayadaw set in Pali 20 questions on parami, perfections, and asked all the students to answer them. None of them except Bhikkhu Jnana could answer those questions satisfactorily. He collected all these answers, and when he attained 15 vasa, and while he was still in San Kuang Monastery, he published his first book, Parami Dipani, Manual of Perfections. During the reign of King Sayadaw, he became a Pali lecturer, Mahajyotikarama, at Mahajyotikarama Monastery in Mandalay. A year after the capture of King Sayadaw in 1887 CE, he removed to a place to the north of Momyawa town, where he established a monastery under the name of Ledi Taoya Monastery. He accepted many bhikkhu students from various parts of Burma and imparted Buddhist education to them. In 1897 CE, he wrote Paramata Dipani, Manual of Ultimate Truth in Pali. Later he toured in many parts of Burma for the purpose of propagating the Buddha-Dhamma. In towns and villages he visited, he delivered various discourses on the Dhamma and established Abhidhamma classes and meditation centers. He composed Abhidhamma rhymes of Abhidhamma Sankita and taught them to his Abhidhamma classes. In some of the principal towns, he spent a vasa imparting Abhidhamma and Vinaya education to the lay devotees. Some of the Ledi meditation centers are still existing and still famous. During his itinerary, he wrote many essays, letters, poems, and manuals in Burmese. He has written more than 70 manuals, of which 8 have been translated into English and published in The Light of the Dhamma. He was awarded the title of Aga Mahapandita by the government of India in 1911 CE. Later, the University of Rangoon conferred on him the degree of D.Litt. honoris causa. In the later years, he settled down at Pyinmana, where he died in 1923 CE at the ripe age of 77. Okay. Memorandum from Ledi Dipani Propagation Society. When the Buddha gained enlightenment, he gave discourses after discourses to beings for up to 45 vasa, or years, before passing away and entering parinibbana. He left his teachings, the Dhamma, to represent him after his demise, so the Buddha can be deemed still alive, so to speak. The great benefactor Venerable Ledi Sayadaw, making selections from the corpus of the Buddha's teachings and expounding on them, had authored a 100-plus treatise called Dipanis in line with what the Buddha had taught, disseminating the true knowledge of the Dhamma in the process. From the beginning, the great benefactor Venerable Ledi Sayadaw had wished to widely distribute his Dipanis at home and abroad. Moreover, at a meeting of a major Buddhist organization abroad, he gave guidance that it was high time especially to propagate the Buddha's teachings translated into various languages all over the world. The Ledi Dipani Propagation Society, led by Aga Mahapandita Ledi Bhadanta Ki Lhasa, the 9th Ledi Sayadaw, and presiding Sayadaw of Maha Ledi Monastery in Mon-Yua, Sagaing, Deviation, Agamaha Pandita Bhadanta Kundala, Ashe Ledi Take Monastery, Mon-Yua, Agamaha Pandita. Okay, there's a lot of monks' names. I'll skip over that. Hopefully that's okay. The Sayadaw's wish to be fulfilled. To have the great benefactor Ledi Sayadaw's wish fulfilled, and to have the following copies of Ledi treatise in English distributed for free by Vice Chairman of Ledi Dipani Propagation Society, Chairman of Ledi Kamatana Charya Committee, Joint Secretary of State Sangha Mahanikaya Committee. Okay, yeah. Skip to the good bit. Okay, so 1, to enhance the friendship, mutual understanding, and cooperation among countries accepting the Buddhist faith. 2, to help the Buddhists maintain their faith and practice between themselves. 3, to spread the Buddhist education based on Pariyatti scriptural learning. 4, to bring about a peaceful and prosperous world for humankind from the Buddhist perspective. And 5, to propagate the Buddha's teachings in their original form internationally. The Ledi Propagation Society has granted permission for printing of the said treatise, expressed in latest page on this book, to Mother Ayeyarwady Publishing House. Okay. Good drink of water. Right. Okay, we got the contents. All the pannies here. Yep. So the first one is the Vipassana Dipani, and continued as mentioned earlier. So if I'm starting this might be another mission. I'm sure I'll learn a lot. Okay. Okay, let's get started then. You know what, I'll finish up this video and I'll start the Vipassana Dipani, or the Exposition of Insight, in another video, so we can just get straight into it. Okay, thank you for listening, watching, learning. So apparently the best way is to listen to the Dhamma. They talk about Sotapanna, is Sota, I think, is the ears, so meaning listening to, hearing. I think it might be Savaka in Pali, which is hearer, listener, or something like that. So yeah, a lot of people in the time of the Buddha, at least, listened to the Dharma, understood it, and became Sotapanna. Sotapanna, the first stage of enlightenment realization. So yeah, thank you, and we'll see you again, hopefully, or you'll see me again, hopefully.